Thanks for joining us.
Talkline Network Radio, America's longest-running Jewish broadcast network, the voice of the Jewish community.
Welcome to the podcast. You are now tuned in to this episode of our podcast. Today, we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. And now, please welcome your host.
You're listening to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast on the air since 1981.
And we're back. To Israel we go. Ken Abramowitz joins us. He's chairman of American Friends of Likud, general partner at NGN Capital. His book is called The Multi-Front War, Defending America from Political Islam, China, Russian Pandemics, and Racial Strife. Welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Sure. Great to be with you as always.
So what is the reaction in Israel to the victory in New York City of Mamdani to be the next mayor of this great city?
Well, I've talked with a handful of people, and I have a handful more during my 10-day trip in Israel. But everyone's mystified that the people would elect basically an Iranian Muslim terrorist as mayor.
I thought he was Ugandan, but he has Iranian connections.
Yeah, he's from Uganda, but he's a believer in Shiite Twelvers. In other words, they're looking for the 12th imam. They call the Mahdi or Messiah, and they think that when there's total chaos in the world, the Mahdi is going to come and save everybody. Save the bad guys and destroy the good guys. So this is it's a death cult, and now the people who elected him did not know that he was basically a Ugandan but a Iranian terrorist in disguise, because he smiles all the time and he wears a tie, and the Republicans and the Democrats didn't properly educate people as to the nature of this beast. And so to answer your question, people were mystified he got elected. I'm mystified for a different reason, which we can discuss.
Why are you mystified?
I'm mystified that the system allowed him to run. Yeah, I say to myself, if you remember the Godfather movie, if Don Corleone was running for mayor, would someone stop him? How about Charles Manson? If he were still with us, would someone stop him? So the point is, there's people who are serial violators of the law and shouldn't be allowed to run for a public office. So no one stopped him. And so to me, the most mystifying.
But he hasn't been brought up on charges, so it'd be kind of hard to disqualify him, because he's said things, but he hasn't been convicted. So that's how he got away with it.
Yes, but I asked myself, where was the FBI? Where was the DOJ? Why wasn't he indicted for crimes? He got money from foreign agents. American politicians are not supposed to get money from foreign agents.
He's Teflon.
Well, also, they don't check people who give less than $200. They could have checked people who give $200. I'll guess he got $199 100,000 times from terror-supporting countries like Qatar and Iran.
Well, his mother is on the payroll of Qatar. That's for a fact. And she's George Soros. She's got money from his father. Got money from North Korea. Democracy, right?
Right. So the point is, all of these issues could have been examined. Also, how did he ever get citizenship? How can you allow citizenship to someone like this?
I think they're investigating that. I believe that Washington is looking into it.
Okay, but my point is, there should have been 8 investigations. There should have been 3 indictments, and right now, but they haven't gone after him yet. So to me, that's the mystifying fact. How could the system 25 years after 9/11, not identify a cultural version of those physical terrorists.
Because nobody really knew about him until shortly before the primary. He was unknown. You asked the name Mamdani, people looked at you. Then all of a sudden came from nowhere where he vaulted to the top.
Sure, but I expect the FBI to have known him, the CIA to have known him.
But on what grounds? He didn't do anything except speak. He wasn't engaged in terrorist activity. And you have Holy Land Foundation. You have a lot of groups that are around that are getting money from these terrorist groups and states, and they're still here.
That's true. Now, Mamdani's promised to kill every Jew in the world. That's incitement for genocide.
Well, he hasn't said to kill any Jew. He said he's going to be the savior of the Jewish people. Didn't you hear him? He's going to protect the Jews.
No, he's publicly said wants to kill all the Jews in the world. Now, he didn't use those exact words. But when he was asked about the slogan globalizing the Intifada, which is a euphemism for killing all the Jews in the world, he said that he wouldn't repudiate that. He had no particular comment on that. So by implication, he believes in globalizing the Intifada and killing all the Jews.
He believes in globalizing. And by the way, his office ran Free Palestine rallies. Did you know that? Free Palestine from the river to the sea. His office ran some of these protests.
Okay, well, so to speak, Free Palestine,
Same thing.
River to the Sea is also preaching genocide against the Jews. I think that should be against the law. Incitement for genocide should be against the law. You don't have to exactly commit the genocide, but a public official who publicly calls, directly or indirectly, however you want to look at, for the death of all the Jews, I think is automatically disqualified for running for office. And our government was sleeping.
Guess who paid for the Free Palestine rallies?
Who?
The taxpayer. The taxpayers paid for it.
Right. So to me, this is an embarrassment to America. This is a systemic fault of the system. And this is akin to 9/11 and Pearl Harbor and in Israel, October 7th. In other words, every generation or so, the nation goes to sleep. And we expect our leaders to wake us up and alert us to systemic problems. So this is akin to Pearl Harbor, and our government was sleeping at the wheel.
And we're still sleeping at the wheel because the Jewish community should be waking up, and we have to be working together as a unified team. We woke up a little too late to organize. We had 1,200 rabbis that signed a letter attacking him, and we had about 75,000 Jews registered to vote, but we got to do a lot more, Ken, right?
Yes, you're exactly right. But by the way, the Christian community was sleeping because the Christian community hasn't figured out that if Mamdani and his criminals kill all the Jews, they're going to kill the Christians next. So the Christian community should have been outraged. The Hindu community should have been outraged. The Jewish community obviously should have been done a better job. And all those three ethnic groups failed. The government failed. The courts failed. DOJ, FBI failed. It was systemic failure from top to bottom.
Are you going to come back to New York to visit?
Yes, I will come back.
Okay.
but this cannot stand.
It's a serious situation because he already wants to cut all ties, economic ties with Israel. Punish organizations could lose their tax-exempt status if they support institutions in Israel. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's been leaked as part of the agenda. Ken Abramowitz, Chair American Friends of Likud. The book is called The Multi-Front War, Defending America from Political Islam, China, Russia, Pandemics. Rachel Strife, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And also everyone should look at my website, savethewest.com, and get my complimentary articles every 2 weeks.
Thank you for tuning in to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast, the pulse beat of the Jewish community.
For continuous Jewish programs, TalklineNetwork.com, or our 24-hour-a-day listen line at 641-741-0389. For past shows, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, and all major podcast platforms, or jewishpodcast.org. Thanks for listening to the TalklineNetwork.com.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Good job, Ken. Have a
Pleasure.
safe trip back.